Welcome back, Redemption Builders. We're still covering the public leader. In our second lesson under the public leader, we're going to talk about timeliness. Timeliness is defined as done or occurring at a favorable or useful time. A very important skill for leaders, a very important skill for emerging leaders, established leaders, but definitely public leaders that have established themselves and they stand up and say that they are leaders and they're comfortable in that position. But timeliness, quick example, a person can be number one in their field, number one in their trade, number one in their profession. But if they're not timely, they're naturally or by default not number one. If they don't answer phone calls, if they don't do things on time, if they don't meet deadlines, they're naturally not number one. And I know some real life examples of this, and the people do the most amazing work, but you have to be tremendously patient. For me, I'm not that patient, so I prefer to go with number two than to wait for somebody that's not timely. Secondly, challenges. Timeliness is a challenge for me, and for these two reasons below. Number one, good versus great, and number two, busy versus productive. First of all, good versus great. The way I interpret that quote is that good is often the enemy of great because you do so many good things that you don't have time to put your energy towards the great things. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. And then secondly, busy versus productive. I'm the chief of being busy, where usually it's in good effort and good faith, but it's not always necessarily the best thing. And I'm not always necessarily being productive. And I've had to kind of swallow that pill, which was a hard pill to swallow. But I'm dedicated to being productive and not just busy. So hopefully you go on that quest with me as well. And then 3 takeaways that I have for you today. And these takeaways are in regards to timeliness. First of all, there are tools for time management that you can use. There's Outlook calendars, there's Google calendars, there's a Trello project management board, or however you want to use it. You can use it as a portfolio. You can use it as a mind map. There's Meister. There's a lot of tools out there for time management. Secondly, essentialism. There's a book called Essentialism, but you can be an essentialist without even reading the book, because it goes back to my example, where good is the enemy of great, or busy is the enemy of being productive. If you're an essentialism, or you're practicing essentialism, or you're an essentialist, if it's not a definite yes, you have to say no. So you drop some of those busy things that you're doing and those things that are occupying your time that aren't the most important thing for you to do. Essentialists give the most optimum effort in the areas that have the highest productivity. So you become a productive person, or a person that does great things and not just good things. And then lastly, theme days or routines. There's a lot of resources out there. Miss Doctors, there's another one. It's called Pinterest. Obviously, you can find things on Pinterest. And another one is the small stuff. They have theme days that you could just copy. And this isn't a Bible. You don't have to go by these theme days, but it creates a default. It's almost like your alarm clock in the morning, or how you might prep meals, or the route that you take to work. These are routines that you establish so that you have a default. You go into autopilot mode, so to speak, so you don't have to think much about it. All 3 of those tools can be very useful to you with time management or becoming more timely. So hopefully today's lesson was helpful to you. And if it was, definitely subscribe, like, share the video, but share it with somebody else that could use it. Not in a condescending or critical manner, but give it to somebody that could use it. I could use this lesson. This lesson is helping me. And I've employed some of these measures at home as well as with my team at work, because they are useful and they can help you see the light at the end of the tunnel. So we'll close with our Redemption Builders mantra. I respect myself, I respect others. I influence every environment that I'm in. Thank you guys. See you next week.